I've built Unfungible into a 7-figure Web3 agency. In the last 6 months, we've hovered between $150,000 to $250,000 in revenue. And in today's video, I'm about to show you everything you need to do to get to the same level as a Web3 agency owner. And it all starts with being a painkiller, not a vitamin pill, through the services that you deliver. You see, the reality is if you are building an agency, you are most likely working with other businesses. So you have a B2B process. The first thing that I've done when I started Unfungible was identifying a clear pain point that existed in the marketplace, and then reverse engineering my products and solution to be a painkiller, not a vitamin pill. What do I mean by this? If you're watching this video and have watched any of my videos, you are probably delivering products and services in the crypto industry. So then the question becomes, what are some of the problem, issues, concerns, or initiatives that our potential clients are going to have through their time? And a couple we can think about is a couple services they will need during their journey are development work, so dev work. We got marketing, we got legal, we got branding, so content. We got fundraising, we got market making, and the list goes on. As an agency, what you want to do is you want to define which of those is most natural to you as a founder. And then what we're going to do is we're going to break down each of these specific niches and find which is the niche that we're going to go after and dominate. For me, for example, for Unfungible, I, since 2016, have been reading marketing books for fun. Like, I genuinely enjoy and I'm passionate about marketing. So it was natural for me when starting Unfungible for it to be a marketing agency, because that's what I've been doing for the last decade. That's the experience that I had back in Web2, building e-commerce stores, building online communities. So a Web3 marketing agency was the natural choice for me. So for you, what are the things you are intrinsically passionate about? But then the question is, how do we niche further down? The worst thing you can be as an agency is a jack of all trades. The reason we are at this stage we are right now with Unfungible is not because of the connections that I had when I started Unfungible, not because of the content, not because of the thousands of followers that I made during the previous bull market. I had none. I started my X account in late 2022. That YouTube channel that you're watching had 300 subscribers by the end of 2022. Unfungible started with no connection, no funding. It started from zero. The reason we are where we are today, only a short 3 years after that, is because we went down market and specialized ourselves in a certain niche. So let's expand this on the board. Let's say we assume that the natural thing for you would be doing dev work. So what falls under this? You can specialize in building Web3 websites for Web3 brands. You can design smart contracts. And then under smart contracts, you can expand that into 10 different categories, NFTs, tokens, memes on different chains, but we're not going to go that in depth. Then we got tokenomics. You can design tokenomics for companies. You can work on mint sites, launch pads. You can do security audits. So audits right here. You can specialize in developing Telegram bots or Telegram apps, and the list goes on. In marketing, what can we specialize in? We can specialize in KOL marketing. So KOL is influencer marketing. We have community. So I know some companies that all they do is just Discord, and this is their specialty, and that's what they do. It's a niche, and they're dominating. I know people who have made 6 figures just doing alpha calls. So they specialize in doing alpha calling. PR, so we've all seen the PR agencies. Paid media, so these are traditional marketing channels. We got spaces, this is Unfungible. We got collabs, so collaborations. Telegram, again, Telegram marketing. And then token marketing. So token marketing, my good friends, they're dominating CoinMarketCap as a marketing channel. And that's an agency that they have. Now for legal, what do you have? Incorporation, so company incorporation, fractional lawyers. What do I mean by this? At Unfungible, because we deal with a lot of customers, at any point of time, we have 5 to 10 contracts that are being reviewed by teams. Most of these teams do not have in-house lawyers. Instead, they outsource their lawyers or they bring in fractional lawyers. These are usually agencies, companies that specialize in their specific domain. So these are companies, agencies that are being hired for this. We have acquisition. So anything, you get a lot of companies investing in other companies in Web3, and then you have SAFT. So these are token investments. So simple agreement of future tokens. That's what SAFT stands for. So it's pretty much when you raise from VCs, what you need is you need a team to create a SAFT for you with these VCs. And then from the content side, I can keep going, but from the content side, you need branding for your project. You need IP building. You need your website. So the same team that is developing the website are going to need branding assets. I know these guys, they run a Web3 agency. All they do is they design launch trailers for partners. That's all they do. And when they work with a brand, they work with the biggest brands in the space. And they charge $50,000 for one trailer because that's the quality that their partners are going after. And they are working with that quality. But fundamentally, every company are going to need some level of branding and marketing and IP building. So what I just highlighted here in a simple 3-minute exercise is what we have highlighted, and we haven't even gone into the fundraising and the market making and the other categories that also exist. But just from this, we all of a sudden have about 20 categories that you can specialize yourself in. And frankly, every category can also be broken down into its own category. So I know dev companies that specialize for Solana apps. For example, if you are the website or the smart contract. I know people that specialize for tokenomics of AI agents. So even under those, you can sub-specialize yourself. But what we're gonna do as an agency is you do not wanna become a dev agency to get to 6 figures per month. You wanna become a specialist in one of these specifically. For us at Unfungible, we noticed that there was a big gap in the marketplace for organic time with customer marketing channels. What do I mean by this? There's the law of 7 in marketing that says that customers need to spend 7 hours with a founder, so listening to a founder, consuming their content, before they develop the confidence to buy and invest in that founder. That's like traditional marketing research. And Web3, a lot of it was built on written post, image, very little one-on-one interaction. We haven't seen people expand, use long-form content like this one. So for us, we identified that Spaces was one of the few marketing channels, Spaces and live streams, by the way, were one of the few marketing channels that allowed founders to get distribution, but also get consumption time from their community. So we decided to go all in on this one marketing channel, and we got to 6-figure working on Spaces. Now we've expanded to that, and we're working on very exciting stuff with founder-led marketing. But we got to 6 figures just doing Twitter Spaces. And I'm gonna say something absolutely crazy for all the founders here that maybe are making some money, but they feel like their product and service isn't the right service, or it's like too competitive, or people don't need it. Spaces is something that anyone at any moment of time can start on their device right now for free. Think about it. And we built an agency built on that. So no matter what your limiting belief is, I can guarantee you, if you are in one of these categories right here, you have a 7-figure per year potential. You just don't have the right operations, the right sales, which we're gonna be talking about. So in a second, I'm gonna be telling you how do you package yourself to not be a vitamin, instead to be a painkiller. So let's talk about this. The way you wanna think about delivering your product offering is you don't wanna be a good to have. Instead, you want to be a must-have. Companies, before they launch, during their launch, after their launch, there are certain things that they need as part of their running operations to stay alive. Anything else becomes a bonus. It's very interesting, but with Unfungible, for example, one observation is that our longest lasting clients, we have people with us at Unfungible that have been on the same package for the last 16 months. The reason why is because for them, Spaces is one of the main communication channels with their community. And if they stop doing that, all of a sudden they lose connection with their community. And guess what happens when founders stop talking to their community? Their communities start flooding. They start getting skeptical. Questions start getting raised. For a big subset of our founders, for them, Spaces or communication with their community and outside community remains a must-have as part of their marketing. Now, this brings me to my second point, which is the following. If you currently have an offer or are in the process of building your Web3 agency, it is very important to craft your offer for it not to be utility-based, but instead of it to be value-based offering. So the difference between a utility versus value-based offer. Huge, super important. The difference between utility and value-based offer is utility-based offering is people shopping for certain features. So it's almost a feature-based way of selling where you're like, oh, you need a website, we do a website. You need a smart contract development, we do you need spaces, we do spaces. The problem, and you're gonna see where I'm going with this, the problem when you sell features and you sell utility versus selling value is that all of a sudden people start pricing you to market rates. And what usually happens in a free market, especially in a competitive small industry like Web3, is you often end up being price compared to other people in the same industry as you. This is something I recently did with an agency founder I was consulting with one-on-one. And for them, they were selling really the features. So it's like, you want this, it's gonna cost you $2,000. And then you want this other package that comes with it, it's like another $2,000. Then you want this third thing, it's an extra $3,000. I was like, bro, so for you, the three things work the best together, right? He was like, yeah. So then I asked him, what do your customers really want? He told me they want their token price to go up. So they want token marketing. And I asked him, the best way to do it is by combining these three features. He was like, yes. So I was like, okay, bro, here's what you're gonna do. You're gonna stop selling each feature together, and instead you're gonna wrap everything into one product that you're gonna give a sexy name, and then that's gonna be your new offer. And then people are gonna start buying that offer that comes with everything, no longer features. And then they were able to wrap everything together where the combination of the three features and some extra stuff because you want the three to work together to get the ideal outcome, the combination of the three allows you to sell to minimum 2 times the price as you would selling each individual alone. So you get to increase lifetime value per customer, you increase cash collected upfront, and you increase how different your company is. I'll tell you how we did it at Unfungible. So most people were looking for spaces, we're looking for space hosts. Cool. How much can you really charge for that? It's like, okay, a good space host, maybe you can get them for $600-$700 per show. So that would be like $3-4K per month. It's like, small tickets. You can't really run an agency doing this. So for us, we asked the question internally. We're like, what do people really want from spaces? Like they don't want space. No one wants spaces. They want an outcome from spaces. And that is, they want brand awareness. They want brand recognition. They want to increase the perceived value of their brand. They want to funnel people further down their marketing funnel, so educate their community pretty much. It's like, okay, interesting. What can we do to get their outcome, to get that outcome that they want, with the spaces being our specific method of delivery? So the way we did it is we bundled 3 things together. The first one being we created a proprietary space network that only us at Unfungible have access to. So people can have the ability to go and speak on other people's shows and expose their brands to new audiences. Number 2, we in-house have the best space hosts in the industry. So we have the ability to create a high impact space show for that company. And number 3, our network has become so big that we have the ability to match our customers with other partners within the network. The combination of these 3 gets the outcome that they want, which is brand awareness. And our method of delivery happens to be spaces. So we're no longer selling spaces. We are selling brand awareness and brand amplification. And through that, people are like, we could either do it in-house ourselves and we can find a host probably and pay them less. And we can try to find our way into other networks and we could network with other founders. But it's like these guys have, like, that's their bread and butter. They'll probably do it cheaper than we will if we are to build that infrastructure. And it's true, we do, even though it is 5 figures in packages that we sell. But it's still cheaper than them doing it in-house. So I would ask myself, what is the real thing people want under each of these outcomes? Fundamentally, every project wants to make more money. They want more customers. They want more differentiation. They want their token price to go up. How do you tie each and every one of these deliverables into the outcome that they want? And that's how you end up coming up with a value-based offer and not a utility/feature-based offer. And I'm gonna give you a simple rule that you can follow, which is the rule of 3. Rule of 3. So as part of your offer, you want to have 3 different pillars. This is actually something that was taught to me by my sales mentor. Every good offer has 3 things. So it's like step 1, we're going to do this. Then step 2, we're going to do this one thing that complements this one thing. And then step 3, we're going to do this one thing that complements 1 and 2. And the 3 together, all of a sudden you have. Just think of every fitness offer. For example, number 1, you get a personalized plan. Number 2, you get ongoing progress reports. So they change the plan as you go to hit certain targets and KPIs. Number 3, you get accountability. So that's how the 3 together, boom, you have a product that people will want to buy. The next question that I usually get is, Leon, how do I know that people are going to find my offer valuable? And the simple answer to this, and I wish there was something different or simpler to do, you have to collect market feedback. So you're gonna have to put a deck together and pitch that to a couple people, even before you have it completely fleshed out. We very often tell our prospects, by the way, we are testing this new feature. You're gonna be the first one we're gonna test this on, or we're still developing this, or this is still in beta. But then we tell them, so 2 things we do depending on what the feature and the product is. We tell them either we'll give you a discount or we'll do it for free for 4 weeks or 6 weeks. I don't like more than this, so 4 to 6 weeks. Or because it's still new, you're gonna get the chance to work with the CEO directly. So usually I will step in when we are doing new products or we're testing new features, and I wanna have my pulse over what is happening in the business, how are customer responding to it. So you can find me in the business when we're rolling out new things. So you tell them, because this is still new, you're gonna get the chance to work one-on-one with the business owner. So you're gonna have more hand-holding or more personalization or more attention to your product. Now, if you're still one man or have a small team, that's fine. Totally, we all start there. Yeah, you can, but your best bet is the assumption. Pitch it to some people, see the leading indicators. Start looking at the leading indicators, not the lagging. Lagging indicators are how many closes you got, how many sales, how much cash collected. What you want to focus on and get very good at focusing on as a Web3 agency owner are the leading indicator. How many pitches am I making? How many interests? How many people are telling me, please send the proposal? Because those mean that people are interested and you're getting good reactions. So don't wait for the sale to know that this is something people want. Look for the reaction. And I recommend minimum 20 sales calls before you identify if this is a winner or a loser. Not the first one, not the second, not the third, not the fourth. Sales is a game of volume, especially if you're going for a cold audience. And this right here gets us to the next part, which is now that we have our offer, we've positioned ourselves as a painkiller, something people need for the success of their business. What do we do now? And that's where I want to introduce you to the ACR framework, which stands for attract, convert, and then retain. This right here is a simple breakdown of what a business needs to exist. You need to be able to attract customers, you need to be able to convert customers, and you need to be able to retain customers. Once you have these 3 together, you have a business, ladies and gentlemen. And when you think about it from every department, this attract is marketing. Getting known in the marketplace. We exist. You're attracting customers, converting. This is sales. You have a sales team, you have a landing page, you have a funnel. This is the sales department. Retain, this is customer success. Client experience, operations, customer success managers. Everything here is for the retention of your customer. So what we're gonna do for the rest of this video is I'm gonna be breaking down each of these. What are the things that you need to know to absolutely crush it with your agency? By the way, if you are a Web3 agency founder doing about between $10,000 to $25,000 per month and are looking to scale to that 6-figure per month number, I'm looking for 2 agency owners to join my one-on-one mentorship program for the next quarter. So for Q3 of 2025, there's gonna be a link in the description of this video so you can speak with my team so that they can make sure that your business qualifies for this. So link in the description of this. Now, the next part is attracting. How do we start making ourselves known in the marketplace? So attract. And this is where we're gonna break it down into 3 main pillars. The first one being the founder funnel. If you've been watching my content, you have seen me talk about the founder funnel, which is because it is by far the most potent way of building your business with $0 in marketing. As an agency founder, you are not running marketing campaigns. You do not have a Q1 marketing launch that leads into a launch of a token or a launch of an NFT. You are building a marketing machine that runs on autopilot 24/7. This is why the founder funnel is the only way in Web3 to make yourself known at scale without burning marketing money on these quick sprints where you get a couple customers and then you're dry for the next couple months. And the reason why the founder funnel is so important and how it's gonna complement the other things that I'm gonna be talking about is because it's almost like a lubricant for the machine. The machine, which is your business, runs a lot more smoothly once you have a founder funnel strategy in place. So what includes the founder funnel? A strategic reverse engineering of your content, not tailored to get views, but tailored to get business. If I wanted to get views, I would have long ago shifted to making meme coin related content. I would become an alpha caller. I would have given whitelists to my YouTube watchers. But no, even during the bear market, even when I had 50 views per video, I knew that these were 50 people that were high intent customers or would become high intent customers in the future. And trust me, a lot of the people that make business with us, that do business with Unfungible, a lot of them just trust us because they've seen my content. It makes everything so much simpler, having a strong founder funnel strategy. So that's the first thing you want. Content, reverse engineer your content. Number 2, you wanna be active on the timeline. You wanna create a list of all your prospects. This is a growth hack for you. You wanna create a list of all your prospects on X and you wanna engage with that list regularly. Make yourself known so that when you slide in the DMs or your team comes in, they're not a stranger to you. This then brings us to the next call, which is to the next section, which is cold outbound. This, ladies and gentlemen, is how you go from 10 to 6 figures. And I know this because everything I'm talking to you about in this video, we have done ourselves. Now you're probably thinking, you're like, Leon, we've done cold outreach and it doesn't work. It works. You just haven't done it. You didn't do it right. You sucked at cold outreach. Cold outreach does not suck. The biggest issue that most people fall into when they do cold outbound or cold outreach is they lead with these big paragraph of messages that are extractive in nature versus additive in value. Instead, the way you want to lead is with a freebie, a case study, a free offer, a lead magnet, an offer. So something that works really well is doing a brand audit for them if you're in one of the categories where you can do this. Another one is telling people, hey, we've recently helped a business that looks like yours and we helped them get X results. Do you want me to share with you what we did with them? So you literally send them a video or a case study of what you did with these people. Number 3, and that's my favorite, and that's the one we have used, is you give something before you ask. And this brings me to the third point that you're gonna want as part of your attraction mechanism, which is gonna be a podcast or space show. Let me paint that picture for you. You are selling to founders that are proud of what they're doing. What do founders love saying yes to? They love saying yes to speaking opportunities, no matter how big or small they are. If you invite a founder on a podcast, they're gonna take you to it. The likelihood of them saying yes up front for a podcast interview are through the roof. And you don't even need to have that podcast public. It can be a Spotify podcast. You can put it on your website. You can put it on your YouTube that has no subscribers. A podcast is a great channel to get your prospects on a call where you build a lot of rapport with them. I've been interviewed and I've interviewed. When I am the one being interviewed, I walk out of that interview, no matter the size of that person that I'm interviewing with a lot of gratitude. And I oftentimes feel the need, the reciprocity, the need to reciprocate the favor that they made for having me on their show. Even sometimes these creators have like a couple hundred followers, but awareness is awareness and people love talking about themselves. So imagine you take people on a podcast that is or isn't published on your X. Doesn't matter. You build that rapport with them, you interview them, you ask interesting questions, you get to know their business. And then after the show, you all of a sudden have the rapport with them, where you have the ability to tell them, by the way, you were talking about how you guys have designed your tokenomics, but I couldn't but notice that your page on CoinMarketCap or your X profile was not optimized to convert onlookers to actual customers. Can I show you a little bit what I'm thinking, what I mean by this? It becomes a sales call. And that's how you have the ability to turn laser focus on certain prospects, invite them on a podcast, build a rapport. And then if you generally feel like your product can serve them and will help them, you have the ethical responsibility to let them know how. Because these people want to succeed. And if you can help them get one step closer to it, you have the ethical responsibility to tell them about what you do. That's a frame that I like to use and I've trained my team to think about it. So the first one is a podcast. The second one is having a space show. And that's the one that we have scaled. We have like 50, 60 space shows going on every single week at Unfungible. So we have the ability to invite people, get them to taste the Unfungible way of working. And usually a lot of the people, it's like that. Imagine you go to Costco or Walmart and there's this table where they hand you cheese sticks or chocolate and you try it. And then you're like, I like this. That's a little bit how you want to think about it. And that's how we did it with Spaces. It works very well because this is what we offer. However, it is still a very good mechanism to promote yourself, but also nurture relationships. The nice thing about Spaces, by the way, is it's one-to-many. So you can invite 4 or 5 leads of yours, throw them in a space together, talk about the future of AI and how it's gonna revolutionize insert niche. And then these are 4 or 5 prospects that you can be like, by the way, like really appreciated you coming. Let's connect over a call. And trust me, a lot will say yes. By a lot, I mean the majority, more than 50%. And this, ladies and gentlemen, what I just shared with you is how you attract customers into your agency. If you have big goals, aspirations, and are hungry, you are gonna need to do the hard work. I know it's a lot easier to just sit back and get leads coming in. But you know what? I just changed my wallpaper right now as we speak to Jocko Willink's slogan, default aggressive, because that is a frame of mind that you have to operate with. Default aggressive. You don't wait for your customers to come to you. A lot of founders, and I see this very often, a lot of founders just wait back, they lay the trap, and they wait with a toothpick in their mouth, and they wait, and they wait, and they wait, and no one comes, and no one comes, and no one comes, and then they pivot into the next thing that they think is gonna work. But no, your offer could work. Every single offer in the categories that I showed you have a 6-figure potential per month, because I've seen people in every category absolutely crush it. I know people, I know other agency owners, and there's not oftentimes one per category, it's multiple. And new categories are opening up every week. But the work has to be done. The outreaches need to be made. The reason why at Unfungible, we're very strong on marketing, we're very strong on sales, is because I have a background in sales and marketing. That's what I was doing in Web2. All my Web2 buddies that are big entrepreneurs, they are agency owners. So they helped me build our sales department. But what I'm sharing with you is exactly what we do. Like, there is no secret sauce. There's no that one thing that Leon does that he doesn't share because it's the secret sauce. Guys, there is no secret sauce. This is the secret sauce that I'm just talking to you about. And this right here brings us into the C part of the equation, which is convert. Cool. You got people on a call. What happens next? And this is where I'm going to share with you the framework that was given to us by Alex Hermosi during acquisition.com, which is the closer framework. And Alex talks a lot about this himself, but the fact that they brought it up when I was physically at acquisition, it just shows that this is like the easiest way to conduct your sales calls. And by the way, my recommendation is going to be a 2-call close. So you never want to pitch on the first call. At the beginning with the space offer that we were doing a 1-call close. We noticed as we started scaling and our audience started to get a little bit colder, you need to spend more time with your potential customers or prospects. Hence a 2-call close. So the call 1 framework is going to be the closer. Call 2 framework is going to be I'm gonna share that with you. It's gonna be the pitch pretty much, and I'll share with you what that looks like. But this is what the closer framework looks like. You're gonna clarify why they were open to take the call with you. You're gonna label their problem. You're gonna overview past experience. You're gonna sell the vacation. You're gonna explain away their concerns, and then you're gonna reinforce their decisions. This is like a super simplified, distilled down sales process or sales explanation. But if you wanna learn more, not something we're gonna dive really deep in today's video, but if you wanna watch someone that's very good at it, Jeremy Lee Minor is the person my team and myself are trained on. So I've gone through this program, and I also have invested over $30,000 in sales mentorship for myself and my team. And my mentor, Alias, he is part of the NEPQ movement from Jeremy Lee Minor with his own twist. Pretty much we've set the sales methods of Jeremy Lee Minor is what we use internally. So I recommend you do check it out. But that is pretty much gonna be the framework for the call. So it's like, let's say you give your delivery after the podcast. You're like, by the way, I noticed 1, 2, 3. How about we hop on a call today? You can always re-clarify. You can be like, hey man, thanks for hopping on. By the way, I'm very curious. I know you're very busy. Like, what really sparked your curiosity when I showed you this new strategy that you can use to double your conversion rate top of funnel, for example? It sounds like you guys are currently working on a new marketing campaign, right? You're rolling out a new campaign, and optimizing your funnel is important. Correct. Oh, overview their past experience. So what have you done previously? We've tried doing 1, 2, 3. Cool. What did you like about it? Oh, we really liked how organic the strategy was. Boom. So that's organic. So then what didn't you like about it? Oh, we were losing a lot of users from the funnel. So people would come in, but they wouldn't convert into the next step of the funnel. Got it. So now you've labeled what they like and what they don't like. And then we have sell the vacation. And by selling the vacation, it brings back to the previous point that we made, which is value-based offering, not feature-based. So you don't say, cool, so we're gonna design this website that has these 3 buttons on it. And the way we're gonna do this is we're gonna use a special code of HTML that is new and trendy. No one wants to hear this. Instead, it's like we're gonna design a website that has high conversion, that has proven high conversion elements that we have tested on all our clients. And so that what means for you is that you're gonna maximize on the marketing dollars that you have, because you know that at least your website is converting to the best that it possibly could. Boom, you've sold the value of what you're selling. And maybe that means you design the website and then you rework on the strategy and you work on the content on the website. So you're like an all-encompassing conversion rate optimization company for Web3 brands. Great. So now you've sold the vacation. Now we explain away their concerns. So a great way of expanding on the question. So it's like, cool. I guess what thoughts came up after I shared this with you? And they'll usually, what questions do you have? Do you feel this is something that can work? What are the next steps? So you ease them into the sale, and usually they will ask their questions. The worst thing you want is an objection. And what I like about Jeremy Lee Minor's way of selling is a good sales process prevents objections, because you handle those already before. So your prospect, when they told you at the beginning that they like organic, you tell them as part of your pitch, like, okay, yeah, our solutions are very organic based. Because if you don't mention this, you know that this is important for them. Sales is a very advanced game, by the way, like there's layers to it. And although I'm not perfect, I have invested a lot of time and money, but I do think later down your journey as an agency owner, you are gonna need to invest time and resources into yourself and your team in their knowledge for sales. And then reinforce their decision. Cool, what are the next steps? Please send this. Amazing, man. I'm very excited. We just crushed it with this founder that looks just like you, and I can't wait to deliver the same results to you. Boom, that's it. We got a sales process. Number 2, we're gonna have the pitch, and then boom. What I like to do, so if your lead is super warm, you can drop the price on the first call. My recommendation is don't, instead do it in the next call. So what you're gonna do during the second pitch is you're gonna overview what they're looking for, so that you're gonna start the call and being like, cool, Mitch, thanks for hopping on. Last time we spoke, you mentioned that you guys were looking for conversion rate optimization. you've tried doing 1, 2, 3, and you really like this and that. And what we spoke about was how we could use our new website system, conversion system, to increase your leads. So I came up with a proposal that highlights exactly how we can help you. And then you talk about the price with it being value-based. And I know when I was talking about the closer framework, I do know I've mentioned some stuff that are like objection handling with the price and everything. Usually, I got too carried away. Usually, you will stop here in the very first call. So in the first call, you will go through this close, and then you will give them a very brief overview, like bird's eye view of your solution. And then the first call is designed to sell the second call. So you sell them on the second call. And that they hop on the second call, you summarize what you spoke about, and then here you handle the objection and you reinforce their next steps to buy. That's how we do it internally. Now, a couple of pro tips that I have for you are the following. So a pre-call VSL. We've noticed internally that there is a huge difference when a prospect comes in knowing what we do versus not. So before any call, I recommend you to film a video of yourself, 10, 15 minutes, sometimes 5, sometimes 30, going through the solution and the case studies without talking about price. Here's what we do. Here's why it's unique. Here are the frequently asked questions. And then you send that to them and you ask them to watch it before the call. And most people will watch it. And you'll notice a huge difference between people who come in watching your VSL and those who don't. Now, between the first and second call right here, send an FAQ. So we have like an FAQ page that we use. It's like an animated video. It's interactive video that we use. We send that to prospects so that they can come in with even more sold. Because by the first call, if you've hit on the right points, they're pretty sold on the solution. Now they just need to know the price behind this. So I would go with the FAQ. I wouldn't recommend giving your prices on the first call, or when people ask you by message, what are your prices? I would say we're working on a proposal. So we like to take a very personalized approach to how we do our proposals. That's why let's talk on the call. If a prospect wants to know prices before hopping on the first call, forget about that prospect. Like just skip. They're gonna give you a hard time, they're price hopping. Like you wanna develop with your sales process an abundance mindset. That there are so many leads out there that I'm not stuck to one lead. It's a game of volume. You need to treat every lead like they are unique and they are their own person. And you want to generally and this is a frame that our sales mentor has taught us, you want to think of every sales call as an honoring moment with your prospect because they're opening up and they're trusting you as an authority figure. So on that call, you want to be very thoughtful, present with them. But you cannot get married to every single lead because they will ghost you like that. Like they're gonna ghost you, you're gonna get ghosted by leads. So don't get married, don't romanticize every single lead. People are gonna tell you, this is amazing, I love it, let's start today, and then never get back to you. It happens. The goal is to develop a process that brings the percentages of these happening down and doesn't prevent you from losing leads that would have benefited from this and would have bought from this in an ideal case scenario. Cool. And then let's talk about the R right here, which is the retention. A couple of things in terms of retention. You want to become known to have the greatest delivery of your product in the industry. The reality of things is there are a lot of things that go into making a successful business, especially in Web3. Usually teams are working with a couple marketing agencies. They're working with a couple of dev firms. There's a lot of things that go together, which is why it's hard to have a Web3 business. But in your category, even though it might not be life-changing, I mean, Spaces is super important. It's a great way to build community, but you need other things. Projects are usually invested in 2-3 other marketing agencies on top of us. And although easy for us to expand and try to go for these extra crumbs, we've specialized ourselves for that specifically and are now solving the next problem that solves the same. We're now we're developing the next solution that solves the same problem, which is connection with the audience. Hence why we're going the founder presence route, so the founder funnel. But you want to become known as having the best customer experience in your entire category. No one does what you do better than you do. In every business, you're gonna want core values that your team can follow. If you are a service business, you absolutely need to have customer obsessed as one of your core values. Your team needs to know. There is no leeway to detrimenting the customer experience. They are number one. You want to be professional. So best customer experience. If there's one thing our customers say about us, it's how professional we are at Unfungible. And we call this the unfungible standard. So number one, you want to have the best experience. Number two, you want to survey every 4 weeks. So some people use the NPS score, so Net Promoter Score. Some people just send a survey, man, with a couple questions. And from 0 to 10, how happy are you? From 0 to 10, how satisfied? How likely are you to refer someone? What more can we do? So ask the basic questions, but try to get them to go deep with them. And the reason you do this every 4 weeks is people are oftentimes a lot more willing to say something on a survey than they will be on a call. So on a call, someone can be like, great, this is good, I like this, thank you, let's keep going. And then in reality, there is a concern that they have. So that is the next one. And these alone, I can't tell you how to make your product better because you know your product better, but I'm giving you the things that will help you uncover the things that your customer won't tell you so that you can catch them early, improve the customer experience, and retain these people longer. Again, you've acquired them, you've marketed for them, now it's time to retain. Next thing you wanna do is you wanna sell in larger packages. What I mean by larger, it's more time frame. So they did a study where they broke down the retainer in different categories. Something that was mentioned to us at acquisition is the shorter your renewal cycles are, the higher churn will be. So literally, I remember I asked Hermosi a question last September when I was in Vegas for the first time. I asked him a question about renewals and churn. And he shared with me two things, which I'm gonna share right now with you. It was like, number one, stop selling month to month, start selling quarter to quarter, only quarter to quarter. And back then we were usually presenting our pricings in, if you go month to month and if you go quarter to quarter being cheaper. So some people would go quarter, some people would go for the month. And he told us, stop selling in month, just sell in quarters. So we did this. It didn't change our close rate. If people really liked the solution but couldn't go for the quarter, we would find the middle ground, like 6 weeks. It would be a little bit more expensive, but they still got a middle ground. And we noticed our monthly churn just decreased. Because when people are in a quarterly package, they don't churn. But if people are in a monthly, it's like 1 month, 2 months, it's like, let me try this new thing. Let me try this. And number two, which is renewal points. This was absolutely life-changing. If there is one thing that makes my investment at acquisition.com worth every single dollar, it is this one concept and one concept only that my whole team knows and is trained on, which is, when do you renew? This is the customer journey. This is the customer experience. The problem is that most people are renewing right here at the end. It's like, hey guys, we have officially reached the end of our package together. What do we do from here? Where do we go? It's like, guys, your customers are usually, guys, it was a pleasure working together. We'll be back in touch with you if we need you again. It's like, well, instead, you've lost. Instead, what we're gonna do is we're gonna renew them at the very middle, usually at the highest point of satisfaction. The middle is usually the highest point of satisfaction. The end, people have already moved on. It's like, oh, they've closed, they're already anticipating the next thing. So you wanna bring up the renewal conversation in the middle. And what you wanna do is you wanna grandfather them into the next bigger package. So you have another bigger package here. You're gonna tell them, you already paid this. I'm actually gonna credit that into the new bigger thing. So now you're selling, for us, we go from 3 months to 6 months, 6 months to 12 months. That's how so people are moving into the next big package. And it gets cheaper because they're going into bigger packages. So that is a strategy that you can use right here for you. And just doing this, big time reduced our churn. Big time improved also, like if people had a concern, they usually bring it up during the renewal. It's like, guys, thank you, we're very happy, but there's these two things that we would like to try for the upcoming 6 weeks. So they literally tell you what are the things they want to renew. So you have time here to improve the experience, catch them. And this right here, ladies and gentlemen, is my 7-figure agency blueprint. If you want to learn how you can unlock the founder funnel to make all your marketing efforts with your cold outbound and just improve the warmth of your prospects that you are getting in your pipeline, make sure you check out this video right here about just that. See you soon. Bye-bye.